Hi you guys, how are you all? I hope you're all doing well. There's a bit of construction noise going on outside, so apologies for that, but I wanted to get a video up for you guys. I'm sorry about last week. I just feel like sometimes it's hard to even convey this, but there are times when like you want to be on camera and then there are times that you don't really want to be on camera or you're just like not feeling up for it. And I feel like at this point you guys have probably watched enough of my videos to know if I'm not feeling it, so I don't want to like waste your time and put up content that I'm not super excited about. So I thought taking a week off would kind of do the trick, and it definitely did. I'm very excited for today's video. These are products that I've been trying for a few weeks now. Vapour did like a whole reboot, repackage, and some reformulation of their products. And Vapour was a brand that I actually initially started using when I switched to clean beauty. I think it was the first product that I bought. Yeah, it was a Vapour product I bought, their Soft Focus Primer, and then I sort of built my collection from there. So I'm really excited to be talking about kind of their new products, their rebrand, showing you guys the packaging, playing with the products, and I thought we'd just do a full face. Now, full disclosure, some of these are still products that I am just trying, so I don't have like a fully formed review for you guys, but you'll get to see them in action, see some swatches, see them on my face, all of that good stuff. First thing I'm just going to do is clip back my hair so that it doesn't get in the way. And then as far as base product goes, I have a couple of options. So the one that I'm not going to use, I will talk to you guys about. So for primers, I have the Essential Daily Primer, and then I also have the Matte Smoothing Primer. The Essential Daily Primer I've used a few times, and I do really enjoy this. It just sort of gives your skin a nice smooth base to apply the foundation to. It's very lightweight. I think it's sort of good for most skin tones. You still have a bit of a dewy finish when you're using this. It doesn't mattify. Wow, it is really noisy out. As much as it just helps to make the makeup kind of lay flatter on your skin. But they actually just recently sent me this matte smoothing primer, so I thought since this is the newest product, I would give this one a try today. It does say to shake this before use. A lot of their products say that. A lot of clean beauty products in general say that, so just be, you know, wary and read instructions. It's always good to kind of do your research when you get a new product because clean beauty products are pretty expensive, and so using it correctly becomes important, because if you don't, then it doesn't feel like it's worth the value. So I always take a second to kind of read the directions and what it's supposed to do, which I have the press release for, so let's see. This is a pore refining and shine reducing primer, so it minimizes the appearance of pores, leaves the skin matte, perfectly primed. It's a velvet matte finish, and it's supposed to help with wear. So I'm just going to take a pump of this on the back of my hand, and it has sort of a pinky hue to it. There's a cranberry ingredient in here. I'm wondering if maybe that's where the pink hue comes from. I don't know. But I'm just going to concentrate this in the areas that I tend to get shiny or have larger pores. So that for me is more around my T-zone. And I'll just press this into the skin. I think with primer, there's kind of a fine line between not applying too much and applying enough. I am starting to see that this has a little bit of sparkle in it, whereas the Daily Essential Primer, I don't remember there being any sparkle in it, so that's something to be warned of. I'm actually not a humongous fan of sparkle products. I prefer like, you know, like luminous products, but I don't really love when you can see sparkle on your skin. It's also interesting because it's supposed to be mattifying, but I feel like the sparkle sort of adds a glow to your skin. We'll see once we apply the foundation. For base products, I have two of their products. One that I have used previously, but I did hear that they sort of reformulated. Some people are enjoying the reformulation, some people aren't. This is the Vapour Soft Focus Foundation. I have it here in the shade 112S, and then I also have the Vapour Velvet Glow Foundation in the shade 117V. So I think I'm going to be using the Soft Focus Foundation, so I want to just talk briefly about this product because it is a really nice product. I don't know if you guys ever used, if you used conventional beauty at all, or if you had heard of like the Chanel Vita Lumiere Aqua foundation, but this packaging and the formula actually reminds me a lot of that foundation. It's a very lightweight, liquidy feel. The reason that I'm not using this today is because it doesn't play well with dry patches, and I do have some drier areas around kind of my nose and mouth and a little bit of patchiness on my forehead, and I had tried this previously a couple of times, and when I did have dry patches, this really clung to it. So I would definitely say this isn't something for people who have dry patches. And maybe this will be something that I can use during the summer when my skin's a little bit more oily and I don't have as dry skin. The formula is really beautiful. You actually get a lot of pigment for a really lightweight formula. Again though, this does have noticeable sparkle in it, I would say. I guess noticeable is maybe not like the right word because it's not like you're seeing chunks of sparkle on your face, but there is some sort of mineral in here that's reflective, and you can see it on your skin if you're looking out for it. Like, it looks kind of like a little bit sparkly. So that's just something to note about this. It gives your skin a really healthy, nice glow, but if you're wanting more of like a matte or just like the most skin looking foundation, I actually prefer the Soft Focus foundation. So I'm gonna shake this again and I'm gonna apply this to the back of my hand. Now, they did a previous repackaging where they made this into glass. It is back to plastic, so that's something to be aware of. I have a generous amount on the back of my hand, and that's because I'm gonna be using a sponge, and a lot of the product does get eaten up by a sponge, unfortunately, but that's nothing to do with this product itself. That is just liquid foundation in general. And I really like using a sponge to apply this product. I just feel like it lays really nicely with the sponge, and you're able to sort of take off the excess product so that it doesn't feel like it's gonna slide around. So I'll do one half of my face, and you guys will see, I think it's light to medium coverage. I also think that a sponge helps with some of the dewiness of this foundation. So I think when you apply it just with your fingers, it can be a little bit, like, it doesn't feel like it really sets all the way, but when you use a sponge, I feel like it really presses the product into your skin and it takes a little bit of the moisture out of the foundation, and for me, on my skin, it just applies a lot nicer. So you can see that's one half of my face done, and it sort of just evens my complexion. You can build it up a little bit more, but for me, on an everyday basis, this is probably where I would leave it. It's a very lightweight, comfortable foundation, so I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side of it, and you guys can kind of see a full face done and the amount of coverage that it really gives. But as you can see, a lot of redness has been canceled out. Some of my pigmentation that I have on this cheek is gone, but you can still see small little blemishes poking through, so you will need a concealer over the top of this. Okay, so that is a full face done. So as you guys can see, like I said, it just really evens your complexion. It gives you a nice natural sort of finish. It's definitely velvety when you apply it with a sponge. I'm gonna let this set for like a minute or two while I do my brows and curl my eyelashes, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I have the base on and it's looking really nice. I think the combination of the primer, applying it with the sponge, and sort of giving it that second to really set before you apply anything else on top of it makes it a much more long-wearing foundation for me. I can definitely feel sort of the transformation when it does set. So that's something to keep in mind. I have heard feedback from other people where they're like, it doesn't last as long, or it feels like it's still sliding around my face. I do think the primer actually really helps with that. And I also think that you can use a setting powder. I'm a really big fan of the setting powder that I'm gonna show you guys at the end of this video. It's really lightweight and it does a really good job of setting this particular foundation. But I'm gonna move on to my eyes, and I'm using the eyeshadow pod in Hypnotic. This is one thing that I do want to mention. So these colors are absolutely gorgeous. I'm excited to be using it. It's going to be my first time using it today, and I was particularly curious about their powder product launches because when I think of Vapour, I usually think of cream products. Those are the ones that I always gravitate towards. So I'm excited to be trying some of their newer powder products. I will say that they have made a big effort to make these packages easier to recycle, but by doing so, unfortunately, sometimes the glue can be loose in them. So for example, I'm going to carefully take this out. The glue on this one, as you can see, has kind of come out of it. Now this isn't a huge deal. It doesn't really bother me. I've had this happen with other products too. In fact, it's nice to know how easily it is to kind of pop these out, which does make the recycling process a lot easier. But I did have that happen with the highlight product as well. I'll show that to you guys, but it just seems like some of the glue isn't quite adhering. But I absolutely love these colors. So I'm just gonna apply, a little bit of all of them. As you can see, it's sort of a pinky purple story that they have going on in here. I'd be curious to know more about the kind of different colors for the packaging. There's a few different colors that things are packaged in now, and I'm curious if they sort of correspond to each other or what the colors kind of signify. It's a nice amount of pigment in these shades so far. Shadows feel very soft and buttery. So with this sort of like Bordeaux-y chocolate shade, I'm using my fingers to apply it. I'm just noticing I'm getting a little bit more payoff that way. And then I'm just going to go over it with the brush to make sure it's blended. But as you can see, these are pretty pigmented shadows. This is a great smoky eye color palette. The only color that I didn't use was in the bottom left corner, so I'll swatch that for you guys so you can see it. I'm going to apply some mascara. This is not Vapour, but I'm just on the last leg of this Lily Lolo mascara, so I want to finish it. I think because it ended up being a much smokier look than I thought, I do need to put a little bit of concealer underneath my eyes, or else I'll look a little bit blue. So I'm just going to pop that on the inner corner. And then I'm going to move on to cheek products. The sun has decided to come out, so the lighting might have changed a little bit. But I absolutely love the cream cheek products at Vapour. They're some of my favorite, especially their multi-sticks. And this is the Aura multi-stick in the color Spark, a really beautiful color, especially for spring. I've been using this already. I've always had good luck with these lasting a long time, but I feel like this one has lasted even longer on my cheeks. So as you can see, super pretty, healthy glow. My camera just cut out. I just applied this bronzing powder in Eclipse, and I mentioned that there is a little bit of shimmer to it, but it doesn't really show up on the skin as shimmer. It just shows up as kind of luminous and very, very pretty. I think this is going to be a great color to have for summer. It's slightly lighter than the Well People Bio-Based Baked Bronzer, I believe that's what it's called. And then it's slightly deeper than the Han bronzer that I love in Malibu. So it kind of sits in between those two. So that hopefully will give you an idea of the color. But it adds a really nice warmth to the skin, and I've been really enjoying this. And then as a final cheek product, I'm going to be applying one of my absolute favorite Vapour products of all times. This is their highlight stick in the shade Moonlight. I used to have this in a pot, now it's in a stick, and this is just one of my favorite highlighters really of all time. It's just such a really pretty, natural, subtle highlight. Now this is the other packaging that I had some issues with. When I opened it initially, the actual highlighter itself flew out too, but I salvaged it, and of course that is not going to stop me from using it because this is seriously, like I said, one of my favorite highlighters. It's really, really natural, but it just gives your skin such a beautiful, beautiful glow. So I'm going to apply this to as many places as I possibly can. And this is definitely like one of my hero products from this brand. I'm going to be applying this lip nectar. I was really drawn to this product because I thought it would be really easy to just kind of apply throughout the day. This is in the shade Hint, and it actually reminds me a lot of their Velvet glosses. I don't know if they still have this. A little bit more pigmented, which is nice. Super, super comfortable, lightweight. This is kind of a pretty peachy pink color. So again, this is really lightweight. It almost feels like a tinted chapstick. I loved their glosses in the pot, and so I'm really happy to have this in my life, which, like I said, it feels pretty similar. It actually smells very similar, so I am wondering if the formula has a lot of similarities, but it's nice that it comes in a tube like a lipstick because it makes it really easy to apply, throw in your purse, a little bit more sanitary. And as you can see, you can either build up the pigment or leave it like a very sheer, kind of glossy, comfortable color. But the setting powder was also a win for me. This is the perfecting powder in loose form, so they also have a pressed powder, but I actually like loose powders better, I think. It has sort of this like mesh container. One thing is there's always a little too much product coming out of the mesh container, so I actually grab it from the lid. And then using a really targeted brush, I just kind of swirl it in there, tap off the excess, and then pat it into the areas where I know I'll get shiny. And this really helps to set the foundation in place. Okay, so that is my full face of Vapour Beauty done. Like I said, it was really exciting for me to kind of play around with these products, see what's new, see some old favorites kind of repackaged. It's really like full circle to see some of these beauty brands that I first started using so many years ago, now kind of in their second or third phase. So it's great to see the industry grow, and Vapour is a brand that I know I'll continue to support just because I really enjoy their product. I think they've always been sort of aligned with the ingredients that I try and use in my products. So I hope this gave you guys an idea of some products to potentially try out from them. If anything looked intriguing to you, if you have any questions about the products that I mentioned in here, something that I didn't get to, something I didn't say, let me know in the comments down below. Also, let me know what you guys think of clean beauty brands starting to repackage and reformulate and everything. You think it's a good thing? You think they should stick to how it was before? Let me know. I know there's been a lot of new news recently, so I'm curious to hear your thoughts. I'll put like a little asterisk next to a few of my favorite products that I tried today, just to give you guys even more of a guide down in the description box, so look out for those. Otherwise, a huge thank you for watching and tuning into today's video. If you're new to my channel, then welcome. I hope that you enjoyed this, and I hope you consider subscribing. As I always say, if you're not new to my channel, a huge thank you for coming back and supporting another video. It really means so much to me, much more than I feel like I could ever express. So thank you guys so much. I'll be back next week with another video. Alright guys, I will see you very soon. Bye!